Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is John Anthony Torres, and you're listening to and watching Two Mics Up.
What up, everybody? It's your man Dave, the NYDC. This is Two Mics Up. It's Monday night. We back with a brand new episode, and a lot of times you get really excited about, I guess, but tonight we have a definite up and coming, rising superstar that, you know, he's really been busy in a lot of different areas, you know, Broadway and on stage, behind the scenes, but we have the pleasure. I mean, and this is kind of like fresh, within this last week, called a press release. This young man is going to be making his film debut, if you will, in a film called Papi, where he's basically going to be the music director, the producer, lead actor. I mean, just all well-rounded, and when you get to meet tonight's guest, you really understand how well-rounded he is, how grounded he is, how humble he is, and hopefully you'll really get to see his talent come through. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you to the other mic and our guest tonight, the incredible John Anthony Torres. John, how you doing this evening, my friend?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's
I'm
our
doing good,
pleasure.
doing good. It's some good weather today. I can't complain.
I know that's right. So, John, we were talking backstage, man, and you have a great energy about you. Like I said, you have this well-roundedness to you. Being on stage, kind of being behind the scenes, and now you're doing your own thing with your own, featured short that's going to be hitting, multiple film festivals. Which is really dope, and kudos to you. But before
Thank
we really dive into that, I gotta ask, man, like, because we just want to know, who is John Anthony Torres, the person when he's not wearing all of his hats?
Copy that. All right. So actually, John Anthony Torres, that is my real name, but everybody calls me JT. So I go by JT. Literally, yeah, my name is John Anthony Torres, but let's say if I'm walking down the street, someone's like calling me John or John, I'm not going to respond to that. I'm JT. I was born and raised JT. I'm from Spanish Harlem, New York
All
City.
right, all right,
My eldest brother actually gave me that nickname because I think when he was growing up, one of his favorite rappers was JT or something like that.
okay,
So he
okay.
gave me that name, and just all my friends, family, my teachers, my colleagues, people who work directly with me, they know me as JT.
Well, look, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get the JT happening. We're gonna get John out the window. We rocking with JT today, y'all, because I don't really think you understand how, in my opinion, just reading about JT, everything that he's working on, man, just sensational. He putting in that work, and JT, you know, how do I dive or really digress into this? But like I said, you have this impressive arc of work.
Thank
That
you.
even though you're definitely maybe a fresher face or a newer face to some, you've actually put in that work behind the scenes.
Right.
To my understanding, just really digging into you hand model, uh, ads. I mean, you had a billboard in Times Square. I mean,
Yeah, that was
man,
dope.
yeah, like how, man, like that is so dope. Like, what was that like for you? Being able to be in New York, being in your hometown and going downtown and seeing yourself. Man, what was that like? I see if it would talk to us.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you bring that up too, because I think about that moment specifically all the time, specifically the billboard you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, I've been in the industry auditioning, going to this and that, but auditioning, right? And then nothing's really happening. And I think it was about a year and a half, and I attended this like commercial print modeling call, which was for Best Buy.
Okay.
And so I did the call, and I booked the role. I went to set, and that was beautiful. It was my first like real big experience. And
Uh-huh.
so I go around, like, the assistants like, hey, your food is here. Come this way. Can we do this? Okay. I booked a very specific role, and that was like, I think like just a normal person or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't what ended up happening. So I was non-union at the time, And this is
Okay.
also really important because I guess in the industry, if you're non-union, sometimes you can get like, I don't know, treated like cattle almost, you know?
Oh,
So you got to
okay.
keep like a tough skin about it and just plow through. Luckily now I'm unionized. I'm SAG-AFTRA and AEA. However,
Okay.
at this time I was non-union and I go to set and things kind of went differently. I wasn't doing what I got cast for.
Hmm.
The producers come up, or I'm sitting in this very specific wardrobe that I got fitted for, and I'm
Hmm.
like, you taking these pictures, and then producer comes over and they're like, hey, our client wants to know what your size is, and I'm like, oh, I'm so and so, and they're like, all right, do you mind trying this on? And it was the Best Buy
Hmm.
shirt, and I
Okay.
was like, yeah, sure, I'll try that on. So, excuse me, I put that stuff on. They're like, "Oh, great, yeah. Can we take a few photos with you in that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Right? So I go and they taking photos. I'm in the Best Buy shirt in this like blue Best Buy polo, and
Okay.
that was the experience, right? So
Hmm.
I do my few pictures. I think the total experience was about 2 hours long, pretty
Okay.
quick.
Hmm.
Um, I book it, right? Audition, nothing. I never heard about this again because at the time I didn't have agents or anything. So it's all on my own. I didn't
Right.
hear about anything. I didn't hear about what was used. And again, I was
Right.
non-union, and that stuff kind of like it doesn't really. They don't. The professionals don't have to necessarily say anything. They don't.
Right. Right. Right.
So, and it's funny because this was happening. I got pretty discouraged because I'm like, there's no
Mm.
auditions. Like I'm not booking anything. Like I
Right.
haven't heard from this, Best Buy thing, and that was like 6 months ago, and
Wow.
I'm just like thinking in my head, and I'm like, I remember being in my room, just like, damn, like, what else can I do? What else am I good at? Like, okay,
Right.
like
Right.
just making lists and
Right.
stuff. Then all of a sudden, I get this text from my middle school friend. Her name is Annika Allen. Thank you, Annika. But I get this text from Annika Allen, again, a middle school friend, and she's just like, hey, JT, um, did you book something? Are you, did you book something recently? Like, I think I see you. And I'm like, no, like, I genuinely had no idea what she was talking about.
Wow.
And she was like, did you book, like, I'm pretty sure I see you. And I'm like, well, can you take a picture? And I haven't
Wow.
spoken to this person in a while. So I'm like,
Wow.
and then she sends me a picture and it's my face blown up in Times, just my portrait blown
Wow.
up in Times Square.
Wow.
And at that moment, I was like, "Where'd you find this?" She was like, "JT, this is in Times Square." And I was like, "No." I was like, "You shitting
Wow.
me? 'Cause I don't remember. I don't remember
Right.
signing on to any of this. I don't like. I remember doing something for Best Buy like months ago, but it wasn't what I thought.
Wow. What a way to
So
find out.
she's like, "This is you," and I'm like, and I was literally just making lists about what else can I do because this is not working for me. This is just not working, and I've already been in this for 2 years and just no traction at
That's
whatsoever.
crazy.
So I was like, no. I was like, what street is this on? She was like, this is in Times Square. It's on 45th Street and 8th Avenue. Just run, go. And I'm like,
Wow,
I
man.
literally dropped everything. I went right there, and I kid you not, I just watched myself, and I cried. I
I
cried.
bet. I bet.
I was literally, just this is tough. This is tough. You got to have the right
That's
skin for it. And that
crazy.
was that was I guess the biggest validation that I needed. That I was like, okay, this is Times Square. If you can
That's
make it
right.
in New York, you can make it anywhere. And my face
Anywhere.
is up there. And not only that, man, that portrait was a whole campaign over billboards all over America. I had
Oh,
other friends from
wow.
LA. I had people who
Wow.
worked at Best Buy. It was in all the Best Buy stores. They used multiple
Wow.
pictures. And then so I reached out and was like, yo,
Right.
thank you guys
Well,
so much. I
where
really
my
appreciate
bread?
it. I
Where's
was
my
like,
bread?
but hey, I want an agent now. Can you send me these photos? I could use these
Right.
photos to
Right.
like pitch myself. And then from
Wow.
things just kind of, I became the hand model for the Miller High Life beer campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of that. And every time I went on set, even if it wasn't for acting, I took every piece of that to like learn something new.
Right.
I would focus on like the DP on one day. I would focus on what the gaffer was doing on another day. I would focus on what the producers were doing, why they were chilling, the
You're right.
director, and just
Right.
all
Just
years
absorbing
later,
everything.
like now I have my first short film.
Man, that is an incredible story. I mean, like you say, once you realize that, like you say, if you're on billboards not only in New York, Times Square, but across the country, you know you can make it, right? You know, all right, this is it.
Yeah,
And I love the way that you tell the story, just going through that, but also like there's this flavor that you have, right? Culturally, and we thought, look, we're gonna keep it real, there's this flavor that you have, being of mixed heritage, Latin descent,
right.
Ecuadorian parents and a Puerto Rican parent, that really helps give you that extra flavor, and I'm pretty sure that confidence too. What was it
Oh
like?
man.
What was
You
it
know, it's
like?
funny you
Shit.
mentioned that because
Uh,
I grew up with that culture, right? But my mom
right.
worked so hard. I was raised by like a tiger mom. My mom
Okay.
worked so hard that she put me in the private school system here in New York City. So like
Uh-huh.
I was the only Latino kid in like every room I went to, you know what I mean? So that taught me confidence and
Yeah.
I taught them humility. It was like a nice balance in my private
Mm,
schools. And
I
for
like
instance,
that.
I went to high school with Zoe Kravitz,
Oh
Julia
wow.
Stiles' younger sister. So like I was in
Okay.
plays with Zoe Kravitz too. Um,
Okay.
Julia Stiles' younger sister is Jane Stiles.
Mm-hmm.
She is actually a producer's consultant for Papi, the film that's making its way
Wow.
now.
Wow.
Yeah, so just bringing all like friends that want to help out too have their names on my film too, but all in the industry. Obviously, got to keep it
Right, right,
professional.
right. I know that's right, man. So, JT, what is it, you know, coming up, you know, and getting into this? Were there any artists or entertainers that really influenced you or inspired you to really want to go
Yeah,
ahead, one, be in front of the screen as well as behind the scenes?
right. So, first off, I'll say one of the first Latino actors I ever saw as a kid on
Mm-hmm.
anything
Mm-hmm.
was John Leguizamo. So
Yeah, yeah,
I always admired
great.
everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was mad funny too because one of the first projects I saw of him was Tu Wong Fu, Thank You for Everything, and he was in like full drag. But then I saw him in another movie. I was like, whoa! I was like, whoa!
Mhm.
This is this is crazy.
Crazy.
Like
Yeah.
this is not in a bad way. I was like, this is like who is this guy? Like he's Latino. He's on
Right.
TV. He's like the only Latino on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Or movies
Right.
specifically. But I looked up to him, and then I guess once I started in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
I was working for Spike Lee
Oh
as a
wow.
stand-in and photo double for his show. She's Got to Have It Too.
Okay.
So that was like
Okay.
one of my first behind the scenes. So I worked with Spike Lee
Wow.
for his whole season of She's Gotta Have It Too. And
That's
I was
awesome.
a stand-in for one of the actors, one of the lead actors there. And this dude was so cool. And I looked up to him a lot and definitely just wanted to continue, just gave me more fire and fuel to be like, yo, like he's doing
You
it. He's from Brooklyn. Like
you can do it
he's
too.
like, why not? Like I'm
Right.
doing it. And then it's crazy too, working with Spike Lee too, because Spike Lee is so hands-on on everything. He's
Okay.
hands-on on everything. And because of him, I got to like have my first few moments of acting in front of anyone important because he would have his stand-ins do the lines and
Oh.
everything for
Oh, okay. That's dope right there.
for
Okay.
yeah, for the rehearsal. Normally, directors don't do that. They normally just
Right.
have stand-ins come in, just do like a what you call a point-to-point rehearsal.
Right.
So like at one point, camera sound, do what they got to do, right? Hit the next point, camera sound. But Spike Lee was the first person I've met that has his stand-ins actually do it. He was like, all right, no, say the lines. He like act.
Wow.
I want to see y'all act. So,
Wow.
so that
That's
was one
real.
of the first few times that I was able to like act in front of anyone important. That was like on his sets, on Spike Lee's
Love that.
sets. And that was like one of my first gigs that I took just to understand who's booking what are they
Right.
doing, how
Right.
can I do
I love it, man. That's real talk, man. I'm just getting goosebumps just sitting here listening, man, because I'm in my mind like that had to be for for a first time, actor or producer or whatever to really have the opportunity to really live your dream and actually bring it to life, and then now carry on into this next phase, which we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. After we come out the break, we're going to dive into JT's, short film that he's bringing up, Papi, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go take a quick pause for the cause. We want to thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back on the other side of the break. gentlemen, we're back. We back with JT, young up and coming rising star. Make sure you look out for him and definitely go out and check him out, man. He's gonna be hitting this film festival circuit, which I think is actually already started or it's begun, correct, JT? Yeah. So
Yes, that
he's
is
hitting
correct.
the circuit. He is hitting the circuit hard. He's got his new short film, Papi, is out, and I'm inspired, I guess, just what I've read about it, JT. But give us and our audience, what was your inspiration like behind the project, and what can we experience, of you bringing this story to life, and
Yeah,
add on to that, what was it like for you,
sure.
developing this whole process?
Sure. So I guess let's start there, right?
Okay.
Developing the project. Um, because I had so many favors, producers,
Mm,
donors, angel investors wanting to help me out because of them following my career and just, trusting me.
mm-hmm.
I don't have like time to waste, so to
Right.
speak. I don't want to waste any of their favors. I don't want to waste
Correct.
anyone's money involved.
Mm,
So having said that, I'm strategically using things because I have two projects coming out we're working on now as well on top of this. But
okay.
I'm using specifically projects that have been tested, projects
Mm,
that work. And so now that I've said that, Papi specifically, Papi was written by this wonderful woman. Her name is Ashley L. Canfield. And she's actually my partner, co-producing partner. She is the co-founder of this company called Blended City, which is a
okay.
nonprofit company. She's
Mhm.
also the founder of Wild Child Film. Both production companies are attached to Papi. So she
Okay.
is also a screenwriter and director. She sent out an anonymous survey to a bunch of people and she collected everyone's stories, right?
Mm, mm-hmm.
So 3 years ago, in I believe 2020, she wrote Papi, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
collective joint effort of everyone's stories, right? So it's super
Wow.
universal, even,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels very personal. It feels like one person's story. However, that was many people's stories, and
Wow.
every person's story, every person who filled out her anonymous survey, gave their truth, and she said
Wow.
that a lot of them were very similar, and all of them heartbreaking.
Mm.
And Papi is a dramatic narrative, so trigger
Mm-hmm.
warning. You might
Okay.
cry, but
Okay.
but it's also I used it as like a sense of like I use it as catharsis as well. But I'll
Mm.
touch on that in a second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we go back to Ashley, she did this anonymous survey in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote this short play. It was a short play originally, and that short play was part of this online Zoom play festival that was
Wow.
produced by the New Yorican Poets Cafe, which is one of the staples in the Lower East Side. So they
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
produced this kind of like online festival for people during COVID time,
Right.
have actors like still work and just everyone
Yep.
still finds their creative muscle, so to speak. And she did this, and I auditioned for the role, the lead role,
Mhm.
and I got the role, and we won. It was a festival, and we won. Our
Wow.
our
Look at
her
that.
her play won at the time.
Wow.
And now I'll touch quickly on the catharsis. Um,
Okay.
my father wasn't around much growing up,
Mm.
and this
Understood.
movie Papi literally means father, dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It touches on certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment, there's a big monologue towards the end of the film, and I'm really wearing my heart on my sleeves in that, and
Right.
uh, I'm really telling as much truth as possible, and that was how I really used that as catharsis and forgiving my own
Mm.
father, who
Yeah.
wasn't around. So
Yeah.
that was really beautiful, I guess, within myself because after doing that play in
Mm-hmm.
2020, I had no more like ill
Ill
feelings towards my.
feelings.
We're all
Yeah.
human. Like
Yeah.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
I understand now as I get a little
Mhm.
older and stuff. So I use that as a catharsis, right? And I reached
Right.
out to Ashley back then. I was like, "Yo, Ashley, thank you so much for writing this." I was able to, like I just said, use this
Mm.
as catharsis, as closure, so to
Yep.
speak, for
Yep.
myself.
Yep.
I was like joking around. I was like, "We should probably make this into a short film. We'd probably win something." Joking
For me.
around, joking around. And
Mm.
this was in 2020. We're in
Wow. Look at
2022 right
that.
now.
Look at
So
that.
literally last year in I think February, So between then and now, I've booked some things that,
Right.
for instance, I was the lead of this theater production called Scab, which
Hmm.
garnered a Best Actor
Actor. That's right.
nomination for
That's right.
under Broadway World's Regional Theater Awards.
That's right.
So she's been following me and coming to my plays. And I'm also on this TV show called The Perfect Murder. I play this dude
Hmm.
named Diego Pilco. You guys can
Yep.
catch it on ID Network right now,
Yep.
season 4, episode 2.
Okay.
Um, but all this stuff, and she was following me. And last year, reaches out. She's like, "Hey, JT, let's have a meeting." And I'm like, "Yeah, whenever. Yeah, let's do it."
Right.
In the meeting, she was like, "Well, remember when you told me about Papi? I readapted it
Look.
for short film." And
Wow. Look at that.
yeah, she's like, "I want you to lead
Look
the
at that.
cast." And I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh man,
I
oh
love
man."
it.
And then on top of that, she's just like, "I saw that you play piano on your Instagram. I wrote in a piano, like a little piano scene for you in there." And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh
I
man."
love it.
And
Love
and
it,
I'm
man.
I'm also a musician. I graduated from Juilliard,
Yes, you
as
did.
a kid.
Yep.
At 12, 13 years old. I was in
Yep.
this music advancement program. So it was kind of like ticking all these boxes for me last year. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, all right, this is dope. I'm down. I was like, however, if because she came up to me with a certain budget, and I was like,
Hmm.
if I were to put my name on this as executive producer, can I bring more funding in, and can we make this a little more
Right.
pop,
Really? Right. Right.
so to speak. So she was like, "Bet you got it."
Got
So
it.
that's how I signed on as executive producer, and I
Wow.
started bringing in all of my connects and my friends, and
That's what's up,
trying to bring everyone that has helped me out, trying to help them out and do my due diligence as just being
man.
grateful for my experiences here in New York City and for some of the
That's
really
what's up.
cool people that I've met along my way.
Mm,
And my film has a lot of favors, and I thank everyone involved. Um, but yeah, so that's how I got the executive producer. And
love
I
it.
was obviously the lead actor. We got the original cast, the whole original
Wow.
cast. We
Really?
signed
All
them
right.
all back on. So that was the original cast from original play.
Oh
Again, no
wow.
time to waste. I don't,
I love.
we wanted the same reaction that we got originally three or
I
4 years ago.
love that,
Yeah, so we did
man.
that. Also, originally, we had someone in charge of music, but they pulled out last minute for different reasons.
Understood, but that was
So,
good for you.
well, I put on my hat and I was like,
There you
well,
go.
I know music theory and all this stuff, and I know music. I'm a
That's what's
musician,
up,
so
man.
I did a little pre-score. So just like a
Okay.
little pre-score for the short film.
Okay.
Because I did that, I'm like, well, I'm the musical director now, so
Director. That's right.
not only that, I composed an original piece which I play live on the
Oh
piano in the
wow.
short film.
Wow. Look at that. Look. See, ladies and gentlemen, tell you, see, rising star. And you hear, and I'm so glad because I really wanted to let JT speak. We talking about Juilliard, best acting performance, music director, produce. I mean, this gentleman is really putting in so much time and so much work. And when you talk about catharsis and things like that, just from what I read, I haven't seen it yet. I definitely am going to, I get an opportunity to see it.
Yes, please.
But you and I similar. I didn't have my father either, and I understand what it. For you, how to close a chapter is very hard. And especially when you're going through so many things. Why you feel like you weren't loved enough, or why you may have not felt you weren't good enough. Why this man wasn't here. All of these things that young men go through, and it's not. This has no color to it. This is what happens with young men. Period. So I'm interested to see how this plays out because I can relate to that story. But time really flies when you're having fun. But I have to ask you this before we go. As a Latino, artist, and we've seen a lot of changes in the industry and different roles and opportunities. Like we had talked briefly. I understand you're going to be working with the Marvel series, with the I think Ironheart, right? Dope, like kudos. But I'm curious to you, like just knowing what it's been somewhat in the industry to where it's going. How do you hope to see, further progress in terms of our representation as Latinos in the industry?
Right. Well, I can first-handedly comment on that's what I'm trying to also propel forward with
Hmm.
Papi, is
Hmm.
we're taking real stories. I mean, the cast is all Latino.
Right.
We do have an African American doctor as well, but underrepresented communities
Hmm.
essentially, and
Hmm.
we're giving those stories light. and we're giving those stories truth.
Right.
And when I say we, I'm currently dealing right now specifically with Blended City Productions, as I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
before, Wild Child Film Productions, and also a
Mm-hmm.
fellow Puerto Rican production company called Coqui Productions. They
Okay.
just saw Papi and wanted to sign on. That's spearheaded by Eddie Martinez,
Okay.
another actor. But we want to continue telling these stories. So, for instance, my next short film that we're going to start filming in June, right
Mm-hmm.
around the corner, again, two Latino leads,
Okay.
and actually that one is a sci-fi drama short, and it has to do with how crazy AI technology, of the
Mm-hmm.
trajectory of AI technology, and
Okay.
also how far a human is willing to go to
Mm.
get like certain like last moments with someone that they love, you know?
Wow. Oh man, that ought to be. That sounds real interesting, man. That's cutting the edge. Because how far would you? That's a great thought.
Right. And
Wow.
everyone now, all the industries and companies, everyone's getting a little too comfortable with AI technology. Like I went to
Yes.
Samsung the other day and I saw AI technology on the side of the phone.
Yeah.
You open up Instagram messages, there's like Meta AI on the top.
Yes. On top
You know,
now.
this,
Yep.
yeah, Chat GBT, you know,
Yep.
AI is everywhere. So
Yeah.
currently right now, we are working on pre-production for this short
Wow.
film. It's called Closure. With the
Okay.
production companies I mentioned, and we're still like looking for funding, allocating funding, and looking for anyone who wants to put their name on something great.
Man, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. This is incredible, gentlemen. JT, man, I thank you for taking time out today. I wish you and everything that you put your hands on nothing but continued success, man.
Thank
You're a
you.
part of the family now. Anytime you want to come back, you want to talk about your future projects,
Oh, dope, dope.
you are always welcome to come back and we'll talk
Thank you so
about your
much.
future. Yeah, definitely, man. And before we go, JT, I want to allow you, please take a moment, man. If you want to share your social media, with our audience, man, we want to make sure we get everybody to get out and support you and get behind you in the work that you're doing.
Yeah, of course. So you guys, hey, what's up? Thank you so much for taking some time to listen to me. My name is JT, but John Anthony Torres, if you want to Google, IMDb, John Anthony Torres, also my real name. Having said that, my Instagram handle is _ John Anthony Torres _. And last but not least, please check out Papi. Thanks to the Austin Liftoff Film Festival. You can check it on austinliftoff.com. Vote for Papi. We're under the New Voices program. Thank you so much.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. John, we will do our best, especially on our YouTube side. We'll put all that information in the show notes. Ladies and gentlemen, go out and support JT. And this has been another incredible episode of Two Mics Up. I am your humble host, Damon Cunningham, aka Dame D NYDC. You can follow Two Mics Up across all our social media, IG, Facebook, X at Two Mics Up. And if you're watching us today here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and you hit that subscribe button. And before you go, hit that bell so you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from me here at Two Mics Up. Hey, look, season 6, Mogul TV Global Network, Monday nights, 8 p.m. #1 network for positive programming. You can check Two Mics out. Check Two Mics Up out on Monday nights. We're going to have JT featured. And look, we're the #1 network for positive programming. We're now 45 countries and growing, 1 million subscribers. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And as we always do when we close out our shows, I'm going to leave you with just 3 things. All right. May you stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.
007.